And we're back. What's going on, TLP fans? We're here. We just watched Elimination Chamber. I'm Mike, and I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Walk. Walk, how you doing? What's going on?
Mike, I'm doing fantastic. Becky Lynch has been arrested. She has been taken into custody, but not after she delivered some swift vigilante justice. So I'm happy about that. Can't wait to see what the future holds for the man.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to see what's going on there. We're going to get into it. We're going to break down Elimination Chamber. But first, make sure to like and subscribe. Tell all your friends. Hit that subscribe button. Give us 5 stars. Give us 4 stars. We'll take 4 stars. We understand we're not always perfect. We'll take it. But hey, hit that subscribe button, and let's jump right into it. Walk, what do we got first?
All right, Mike, well, let's just start with the top of the card then. Let's start with the Women's Elimination Chamber Tag Team match to crown the first ever women's tag titles. Mike, what did you see from this match that you liked?
I'm going to start with the Iconics. I love the Iconics. I thought they looked phenomenal. They looked like stars. They looked like tag team champions out there. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, they just look absolutely phenomenal. The crowd was real into them. Everything about it was just, they look great. I was a little disappointed they got eliminated early, but hey, there's a lot of time left. They'll get their run. I know they will. I love their shtick. I think they're hilarious. I think they're very, very talented. Yeah, I think at one point I would really like to see the Boss and Hug connection versus the Iconics. Maybe at WrestleMania. Who knows?
I agree with you on that. I think the Iconics definitely looked fantastic on it. I think I don't think they were anyone's first pick to win, but they definitely were, I think, the favorite dark horse pick to win. I think you called it the trendy pick, which I completely agreed with. I agree with you. I think they looked like stars. They looked much more comfortable in this, like, I guess, true tag team setting than they have in a while. I don't know if they've been, studying some tape or whatnot, but they looked way more comfortable in this match than they have before. So
I agree. We'll see where the women's tag team division goes, but I want to see them get the championship match. I would love to see it. What was I going to say? Oh, I wanted to ask, did you see the belly button ring that Billie Kay was wearing? Could you imagine how awkward it would be to wrestle in a belly button ring? I feel like she always has it. I just never notice it. But gosh, that's got to be weird. We got to do a bet where the loser has to get a belly button ring one time, and then wrestle a match with it. And then wrestle a match with it.
Pass, but okay.
We're gonna do it one time. That's gonna be a big one.
I don't like it, but all right. I think one thing that also kind of came out of this, you mentioned it when we were doing it, so I'll give you credit for it, but it was how good Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville looked as well. Especially Mandy Rose. This was definitely her best showing. You said that while we were watching it, and I definitely agree with it.
Yeah, Mandy Rose, best match of her career, I think, by far. She has the look of a star. She's been getting pushed pretty well. She's got pretty good charisma. She's pretty easy to either cheer or root against. Pretty easy. She could be a really good heel. I feel like she'd be very hated. She could be very booed very easily. And she looked great. Her ring performance was great. I don't think she's ever had this big of a high-profile match. She shined. She looked like a star. She kind of outshined Sonya, which was kind of surprising to me because Sonya's so phenomenal and such a great wrestler. But Mandy Rose, she looks like a future women's champion one day. Anything you want to add about Mandy Rose before I talk about this part?
No, I agree with you on that one. I think she definitely, this is her best match of her career so far, and I hope she continues to build on it.
I think, so we saw at the end, Mandy Rose, they were setting up the spear on Sasha Banks, which ultimately led to their loss. The spear misses. I think Sonya takes out Mandy, or Mandy takes out Sonya. I can't remember. But this could be the first. It's not the first sign of them splitting, but this could be the beginning of their feud. Because I thought, at the end, the last two teams were Sasha and Bayley, and Mandy and Sonya. And I thought one of those two teams, something's going to happen, and it's going to create a little bit of controversy to set up a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. So I think that's might be the route they're taking, and they might want to set up both of those women to have big solo runs in their career, which I think both of them can definitely have.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't know if it'll, maybe it's how to match at WrestleMania, maybe it's a fast lane match or something like that, but I agree with you.
Yeah, well, I think they definitely have the chemistry to be able to put on one of those good traditional rivalry matches, and now I'd love to see that. It's always better when you have those. I guess a long-term build. It's been a long build, so I mean that's definitely a good way to go. I would love to see it at WrestleMania. I think that'd be one of the more heated, more emotional matches on the card for sure. Other than that, we got. What were you gonna say?
No, that's it. That's all I was gonna say.
Other than that, we had the funny spot where Nia Jax ran through the pod. You had a funny thing. What'd you say about it?
Yeah, I said Nia Jax looked like a damn rhinoceros running through there because she couldn't turn or anything like that. She just went straight through.
That was my favorite part about the match. Just seeing Nia slam through it. I don't know why it was so funny to me. She just went through the chamber pod. And then she went through the chamber pod, and it was phenomenal. I loved it. It was so funny. I could watch it a million times. And I think the second funniest moment, I forgot about this. The second funniest moment of that match is when the Iconics were hiding in the pod, and then Corey Graves is like, "You don't think Nia and Tamina can see you? You think they just have, T-Rex or Raptors vision? They just have their vision based on movement?" That was hilarious. And then the Iconics get dragged out as they're reaching for each other. It was perfect. It was so funny.
I love how their reactions to most everything are synced up perfectly too, to where they both at the same time went and held the doors shut, and they both let the doors open up at the same time, and then they both started screaming at the same time when they were getting their hair pulled out and all. They're just, I don't know, they function just so well together, and I guess it's just because they've been doing it so long together. But damn, if they're not hilarious,
they're awesome. I love them. I love the Iconics. We didn't see much out of Naomi and Carmella. They were kind of eliminated pretty early. Naomi's such a great athlete, and I guess that was the one point we did notice it. She did look good. We already know how phenomenal she is, but they didn't do much in this match. I mean, they're not a tag team anyway. That was kind of a put together tag team just for the match.
Yeah, it was, and I think they had a decent showing. I mean, they didn't.
Oh, they definitely didn't have
anything like that.
Yeah, they didn't have a bad showing. They just didn't really stand out.
Yeah, which is whatever. I mean,
all right, and then we had the emotional win. We finally got the Boston Hug connection. They won the championships like most people assumed. We did say the Iconics were a trendy pick, but everyone was saying, hey, it's going to be the Boston Hug. You kind of knew with Bayley, she had to she carried the loss. They had to be the number one team entered in the elimination chamber, so they had to cut it out for them. But they finally won. Good for them. They deserve it. They are the flag bearers of the women's division, and it's a great team to have as the first women's tag team champions.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think, you can't think of any two women that are more deserving of being the first women's tag team champions. I mean, they've been champions at every level in WWE, and they definitely were two of the biggest influencers in the whole women's evolution. So yeah, it makes sense that they would be the ones to be crowned the first ever inaugural women's tag team champions. I do have to say this though, I like how, if you've been following Sasha and Bayley on social media, how they'd been tweeting about the Revival for a couple weeks leading up to the Revival's tag team win. I kind of want to see a tag team faction of the Revival and Sasha and Bayley, where they just kind of own the ground that they walk on. I mean, I would like to see them, in each other's corner for tag matches or something like that. Just a thought, something to work with.
Interesting, very interesting. Yeah, we did see that. We saw the Revival win their tag team championship on Monday. So now we got a good segue to the next match. We had another tag team title change hands. The Usos took it from Miz and Shane McMahon. Start us up.
Yeah, well, obviously Jimmy Uso pinned the Miz just like that cop pinned Jimmy Uso with a disorderly conduct charge this past weekend. But anyway, Miz and Maurice came out, announced they had a baby on the way. Didn't realize that baby was actually going to be the Miz in that match, but
that was a weak one. Boo.
No, those are the only jokes I got for the match. Sorry.
It's okay. That second one kind of sucked. That's all right. I'll cut it out, maybe. I won't cut it out. I'm gonna let everyone see how bad of a joke that was.
Yeah, I probably deserve that one, for being honest.
So the Miz, he announced the baby's on the way. Brought Maurice out. They said, "Hey, we're dedicating this to the unborn baby. The first thing there he's going to know about himself or her. His dad, just lost to a felon, a disorderly conduct felon, a guy who takes his shirt off, squares up to cops. Doesn't matter. Usos can wrestle, great champions. I think they're the 6-time champs now. They got
six-time.
The six-time tag team champions. They got the belts off Miz and Shane, probably setting up that WrestleMania match, which everyone wants to see. Shane versus Miz. Good for the Usos. They're always great for the tag team division. They'll be great. What else you got?
All I can say is that Vince McMahon and Mr. Mizanin are no longer proud. They're probably very disappointed at this point.
Could you imagine a segment in the back where the Miz and Shane go back there, and it's just the Miz's dad and Vince just standing back there, just real disappointed. They just say, "We're not mad. We're just disappointed." And the Miz just comes back, "I'm no longer proud of you, son."
Just takes back like that heartfelt moment they had a couple weeks ago at the Royal Rumble.
That'd have been hilarious. Yeah.
I would actually love that.
So we know what Shane and Miz are probably going to do. Usos, who do you think's next for them?
Call me crazy. I think it's going to be the New Day again.
It could be the New Day.
Sanity.
Ooh, that'd be really interesting, actually. I like that. That's a good little thinking outside the box. What about another new and up-and-coming tag team, Heavy Machinery?
Stakes and weights, baby.
Because I do think the New Day might have another tag team match that we're going to discuss later on the show. So we'll stick with Sanity and Heavy Machinery. I like that. I like those picks.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, what's next? Who we got?
Was the Intercontinental match next?
Yes.
Okay, well then let's do the Intercontinental match. I remember the first note you wrote down for this one was, "Is Leo going to cost Bob the match?" And then you wrote, "He did."
He did. He cost him the match.
He did. He did indeed cost him the match.
That was supposed to go on the preview show. That was supposed to be made, but things happened. That was my first note I wrote. Is Leo Rush going to cost Bobby Lashley the match? In fact, he did. Leo took the pin. And then in the worst moment, in probably the most heartbreaking moment, second most heartbreaking moment in pro wrestling, the next heartbreaking moment came later in the night, was Leo Rush gets just power slammed. Like a little side, it was like a spine buster rock bottom slam.
Yeah.
Leo Rush just gets planted in the mat. And I was so hurt. I love Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley together. I really hope they're not splitting them up. Because Leo Rush has been so good for Bobby Lashley's career. They're so great together. I can't imagine why you would want to break them up.
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that. I get it from like the perspective of like Leo Rush is only valuable to Bobby Lashley if he's like helping him retain his title. I get it from like that perspective, but at the same time, like if you're gonna have this angle where it's like he beats him up in the ring for making him lose his title, it's like, you know, tomorrow night on Raw, make it to where, you know, they have a segment where Bobby Lashley comes back and is like, you know, threatens him almost and is like, "Hey, you help me get my title back or else," or something like that, you know? Not like breaking him up, but make it be like he's only happy when Leo's like helping him keep the title or something like that.
I like that kind of. Like that kind of. It's better than my idea of Leo just courting himself around trying to win Bobby Lashley's love back, Bachelor style, giving him roses, boxes of chocolates, which I kind of think they are going to do because Leo Rush is really funny. And I can imagine that. We also have, I guess we should, let's wait. Let's come back to Bobby Lashley because I have a good transition. Let's talk about Finn Balor. He's Intercontinental Champion, I believe for the first time in his career. Great for Finn. He's great for the wrestling. He's going to put on a great Intercontinental match. Kind of getting the Seth Rollins treatment, I guess, from last year.
Yeah, that's kind of what that's kind of the vibe I got from that too, is that he's getting a little bit of a Seth Rollins treatment. It's like, okay, we acknowledge that you are main event caliber talent. That being said, we don't have the spot for you right now. In order to combat that, here is the Intercontinental title.
I want to say, this is kind of like how they did it the old way with the Intercontinental title. They put it on this guy, and they said, all right, this kind of leads you to see make sure you're the guy for the WWE Championship. They want to put it on him, say, hey, you're going to be the workhorse. We're going to see how you do with this, how you respond. And if you do well in this spot, we're going to set you up for a WWE Championship here pretty soon, pretty down the line. Right here down the line.
If, what's his name? If Seth Rollins is not the victor, or if Seth Rollins is the victor, oh my goodness, excuse me, for the Universal title at WrestleMania, is Finn Balor his first challenger?
I don't think so. They got to give Seth some heels. I don't know who Seth's first opponent would be, but that's way down the line. That's it.
That's true.
I would like it to be Drew McIntyre, but I want Drew McIntyre to kind of... I don't want to see Drew McIntyre lose, so maybe it won't be Drew McIntyre. What was I going to say? All right, let's go back to the Bobby Lashley thing, because that was not the last time we saw Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley would reappear in the no disqualification match. I think that was the next match, right?
Yeah. So that was a good transition. You mentioned Drew McIntyre in there too, and guess what? He was in the wonderful match as well.
So the no disqualification match, no one really wanted to see Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin again. No offense to the one person out there that wanted to see it. I'm sure there's one person out there that really wanted to see this match for whatever reason. But, I mean, I don't even think Baron's mom wanted to watch this. Braun Strowman's best buddy Nicholas probably didn't even want to watch this.
Yeah, speaking of which, where the fuck was Nicholas during all this?
We'll get to that. So Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman, they're going at no DQ. They're going pretty high-paced. They had a few good little spots. Looks pretty brutal. And then next thing you know, you hear Drew McIntyre's music go off. That's a great theme, first and foremost. It's probably the most,
ominous.
Ominous, terrifying themes in the business, and it fits his character just so well. And then next thing you see Drew McIntyre walk out. Then behind him's Bobby Lashley. Walk was even screaming, "Oh my God, that's Lashley!" And then we see them just destroy Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman gets the Shield treatment. They took the Shield's powerbombed him off the steps through 2 tables, which I thought was just an awesome spot. It looked really cool. Right in the center of the ring. It was a very good visual, very devastating. Sorry, Walk just... I bet you can hear that on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Walk just let out a 2-second fart, and it was gross.
Oh, wow.
You just ruined my train of thought. Why would you do this? You just ruined the whole episode. I gotta restart the whole episode now.
Ooh, wow.
Apologize to the fans.
Oof.
Are you gonna apologize to the fans?
What's up?
Are you gonna apologize to the fans?
I'd like to issue a formal apology to all of the TLP listeners out there. I did not realize that was going to get caught on mic.
Sheesh. Okay.
Sheesh, indeed. Now I'm the one that's suffering because I'm smelling it.
Okay, back to what we were talking about. If you can even focus. Probably smells like eggs in there. Whatever. Yeah, no, I don't even know. So we had the great visual. What else? I got it. So what I was going to ask is this going to be a faction going forward, or what are we getting with this? What's next?
I'm actually not too sure if we are going to get a faction.
Well, you have to be sure, because you are the podcaster. You are the expert. I need you to be sure here.
Mike, we're getting a terrifying heel faction coming out of this.
Okay.
They're going to be called like Vince McMahon's Wet Dream or something like that, because it's a bunch of guys who are all over like 6'5" and weigh like 270 pounds. Like, they're all just exactly what Vince McMahon wants in a wrestler, and they're just going to keep messing some shit up. And I don't know. I'm interested to see. The thing I thought most about this when I was watching it is, does Braun Strowman really not have a single ally in the back to come out and help him? Which I guess is where the Nicholas thing comes into this.
Yeah, where's Nicholas? Nicholas, you coward. We needed you. No one's going to help out Braun. We had to have you. You guys are tag team champions. Never been beaten. You guys are undefeated. And you just sat on your back. Not even there. Didn't come out. And Nicholas, I'm disappointed in you. Nicholas, you're a coward. I'm going to say it. I've never called a 12-year-old a coward, but you're a coward.
I've never fought a child in my life before, but it's getting to the point where if I see Nicholas, it's going to be hands on sight.
Nicholas, figure it out. How's Braun going to overcome 1-on-3? We need you. The whole world needs you.
Nicholas should have done like a shatter machine with Braun on Drew McIntyre. That's all I'm going to say.
If Nicholas gets involved in this feud, I don't know if I'm going to be real happy and just love it, or if I'm just going to be like, what the hell is going on anymore?
Yeah, I'm gonna love every goddamn second of it. Oh God.
So let's talk the heel faction. Vince McMahon's Gestapo, his Aryan Police Brotherhood. Um, I don't know what they're gonna do. I guess they're gonna do the faction. The faction makes sense. I don't know how they would play that throughout the year. I don't. You can't just do 3-on-1.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. That's why I kind of like didn't really know if it was actually ever going to be like a real heel faction, because like I don't see anywhere for them to go from here with it. You know, like
They can be
is this a
very
way
devastating. I just don't. I guess.
I mean, what's next? Are they going to go? Oh, okay, never mind. I just talked myself into. They could go back and get Bobby Lashley his Intercontinental title back, and then go and get Drew McIntyre the Universal Championship.
Then and they get Baron Corbin's general manager title back.
Oh God.
If that happens, I'd kind of be upset. I like Baron Corbin as GM. He was funny. He was a good heel GM. But I don't want that. Don't want that again. I'm over that. I think they would be a very good heel faction. I think they'd feed off each other pretty well, and they're devastating. I just don't know what they do after Strowman because I mean I don't know who could stop them.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I mean it would have to be Seth and like a combination of like Dean Ambrose and someone else. Huh? I wonder who that other person
Roman
could
Reigns.
be. Yeah, that
maybe Roman Reigns.
Hmm.
Maybe those three form some kind of faction themselves.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe call it like the Protectors or something like that. I don't know. Maybe what's a piece of like clothing that protects you, like body armor? Maybe just call them the body armor or something like that. I don't know.
The body armor, the helmets, the chainmail. The chainmail.
There you go. I like it. Not maybe. I don't know. The protective bubble. I don't know. Something like that.
The Bubble Boys.
The Bubble Boys. All bubble blowing babies will be beaten senseless by every able-bodied patron in the bar.
If the Dean Ambrose thing is just a work, and it's just played by Roman Reigns returning the night after WrestleMania saying, "We have to stop these guys," the Shield's reuniting, I would lose my mind.
If that's all it took for the Shield to reunite, I would actually be like, "What the fuck?"
They're just destroying everyone, and Roman comes back and he's like, "I need Dean Ambrose. Dean, you can't quit." That'd be kind of crazy. It would have to take a few months of them just running roughshod through the division.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add to that?
Nah, that's all I got for that one.
Okay. So tomorrow we're going to see them in a 6-man tag where they just destroy the Lucha House Party, right?
Honestly, I wouldn't hate that because I hate Lucha House Party so goddamn
Lucha
much.
House Party.
Dude, I just want them to. I want them to get jobbed out. That's what I want them to do.
I like Lucha House Party. I think they should just be a fun work, not like actual like winners. They're just fun. But I don't know how that makes sense. And they should be on like 205 Live. They
are on 205 Live.
They should just stay there.
Yes, they should.
All right. Let's do it. Next is the Ronda Rousey Ruby Riott. I don't even think we can call this a match. It was a squash. It was a massacre. I hated every second of it. Ruby Riott deserves so much better. So talented. Such an incredible performer. This was her time to shine. She was going to show the world that she was one of the most talented workers in the division. And she was going to show her worth to WWE. And it was going to be everything that I dreamed of. It was the Ruby Riott push I wanted. It was the Riott Squad push. It wasn't. It was a squash. It was terrible. I hated it. The next part, I didn't hate. I loved the next part. You talk about the next part.
All right, well, so next part is Becky Lynch comes out all Kill Bill in her fucking yellow and black suit, and takes these damn katana-looking crutches that she's got and beats the holy hell out of Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. Which, you know how Charlotte Flair has kind of like been using that kendo stick for the past couple of weeks? Mm-hmm. Becky Lynch was basically like, "I'll see your kendo stick and raise you a goddamn fucking crutch." And then the best part is after this, when Becky Lynch is being escorted out of the ring, guess what she's being escorted out in, Mike? Handcuffs. Guess who called this 2 weeks ago? You and I. I'm not saying that we're psychopaths. I'm just saying that we are psychics, and we know exactly what's going on. We called this so long ago. 2 weeks ago, to be exact.
If you couldn't call this, I mean, you kind of... you haven't watched wrestling very long. They're just copying the Stone Cold thing. But hey, yeah, it was great. I loved her beating her ass. I loved your Kill Bill reference. She did just look like Kill Bill. That's all I saw was it was Beatrice. That was her name in Kill Bill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She just whooped her ass. Another appearance we got to talk about. You got to talk about it. Ronda Rousey.
All right, so Ronda Rousey is coming out here finally for the first time in the history of the WWE. Ronda Rousey is not some black swan looking motherfucker. The Mortal Kombat makeup team must have taken over for WWE and made her look like Sonya Blade or whatever. I don't play Mortal Kombat, so I don't really know. But all I know is that she looked way better, and her hair and makeup was so much better than the Pan's Labyrinth shit she's had on her head for the past fucking 6 months to a year. I mean, good God. I just am so happy that she finally looked decent, and it was only just for a squash match against Ruby Riott, who she should have had a great match with. They had the potential to do such good storytelling with this match. They had the, because Ronda's still, technically a pretty young competitor, so they could have been she's looking past her, and, Charlotte's distracting her from the ringside thinking about WrestleMania. It's a trap match, and,
A trap match? Dude, if they played the trap match, if they just kept calling it a trap match, that would have been so awesome.
And so, for the first 10 minutes, Ruby Riott's just only make it a 15-minute match. Make it where Ruby Riott is beating the hell out of her for the whole time, and Ronda's kind of getting overwhelmed, and just happens to catch her in an armbar and makes her tap and be like, okay, she survived, but she didn't look good doing it or whatever, but she made it, and it was a learning experience, and then have the spot after. How that would have made it so much better.
Yeah, it would have. I agree. I like that. That's really great. I love the trap match. It would just be like a trap football game where the big heavy favorite at home, they're looking past it. They're looking towards their big rivalry matchup. They win on a last second field goal where they had to really work their way out of it. That's exactly what they should have done right there. I agree.
We have too much experience talking about this as Auburn Tiger fans, but
Yeah, this is every game I've ever seen. I've seen it a million times. You always bet on the trap game. It's not the Auburn Tigers in us. It's the gambling in us. You always bet on the trap game.
It's the fact that we can't stop gambling like degenerates. Anyway.
Hey, before I want to say, everyone, we're winners. We're winners. I gave Walk 2 winners yesterday. We did a good job. Don't get into sports gambling, but hey, we won.
Don't gamble, kids. Unless you're 21, then do whatever you want.
Yeah, we can't tell you not to. I wanted to say something else.
All right.
I wanted one more thing.
Okay.
2 things, actually. So, how mad are you going to be when when Ronda comes out at Fastlane? That's the next pay-per-view, correct?
Yep. At
Fastlane, great makeup and hair again, doing the Mortal Kombat Sonya Blade thing. She's just looking phenomenal. And then at WrestleMania, they just bring the whole Black Swan into it.
I just know it's going to happen because they're going to make her do the Roddy Piper thing again because that's kind of her thing. And that's WWE's department, so they're going to make them do that, and it's just going to be so terrible. And she's going to look like Roddy Piper fucked Black Swan, and it's just going to be horrible in every way.
That is the worst visual I think I've ever imagined.
I know.
I saw Roddy Piper. The thing was, I didn't imagine Roddy Piper in his WWE days. I imagined him when he was on Always Sunny as the
oh my God.
What was his name on the Always Sunny?
I don't remember. I don't really watch Always Sunny.
Oh my God, they called him something. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm going to Google it. But I just imagined him in Black Swan. It was rough. My next point was we finally got to see Ronda cut open with the crutch. Her head was all crushed open. And I just want to say, hey, Ronda, go get some ice and Advil.
Bitch.
Ice and Advil, bitch.
How amazing would that have been if Becky had said that?
She should tweet it at her. Here, I might go. Go on Twitter. Go tell Becky, add her, say, hey, you got to go find the picture of her bleeding and just quote tweet it, ice and Advil, bitch, and then quote tag Ronnie. Boom, solid. We should be someone's social media partner. We have some good burns every once in a while.
Yeah, I feel like our genius is not appreciated fairly.
It's not. It's definitely not. But hey, whatever. Can't please everyone. So I got Roddy Piper's name in Always Sunny. It is the Maniac. The Maniac. I loved it. He got arrested. Couldn't perform on the Troop show. He just looks like an alcoholic. It's rough, but whatever.
So Becky Lynch just tweeted out a picture of Charlotte limping out of the ring and says, "Bow down to that beating, you thieving bitch."
I can't wait for the ice and Advil. If she tweets it out for us, I'm going to say we're over. I'm going to officially announce that TLP's over. That's the thing in
David,
wrestling.
look,
All you do is got to get over it. We got to get the pops, you know?
I feel like yeah, I agree. We're just working for the pops. That's all we're getting.
We're working to get over. We're just trying to get over. Working for the pops. All
right.
right. The next thing that happened in the show wasn't even a match, but it is hotly being talked about on Twitter. Being talked about all over the wrestling world. Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans came out. She just get her music plays. She goes down the the ramp. Halfway down the ramp, just turns around, goes right back into the gorilla, leaves the arena. What the hell was going on? So we're here to figure out what Lacey Evans is doing. We got some theories. If you want to chime in a theory, you got to go to tweet at us. Hashtag. What was the hashtag we're gonna use? I got it. I got it. So you're gonna tweet at us and then use the hashtag Lacey Girl. What are you doing? So Walt, do you want to start it off?
Yeah. So Mike. So here's my first thoughts looking at this is that my first thoughts is that she's going out there to try and seduce Corey Graves. That's my first initial reaction to this whole thing. All right. Upon further review, though, I think we had some little bit better ideas about what was going on. So why don't you get more into that?
My first guess was she was going out there. She was looking for Mandy's hair extension that Mandy Rose lost earlier in the night in the Elimination Chamber. She's like, man, that was a real expensive hair extension. I got to go find it. I got to go find that hair extension for her. Maybe she keeps it, maybe she doesn't. But that was my first reaction.
So my next reaction after the obvious, getting past the Corey Graves seduction techniques is maybe she like ordered Uber Eats or something like that, and she saw that they were outside the stadium and just kind of walked out there and was like, this is not the exit, turns around, walks out. That kind of thing.
Okay. So okay, I like that. My next thing, I mean, it is kind of hard to find Uber Eats. Those Uber drivers, they go everywhere. I got picked up from the wrong house the other day. I had to walk to my neighbor's house. It was so awkward, so uncomfortable. The next one I have. So this one's a bit of a stretch. She was just practicing her fashion show, practicing her little catwalk. She's gonna get a fashion show. She's gonna bring on Fandango, Tyler Breeze. They're going to be there. It's going to be a huge segment. It's going to be popular. It's going to be the next Louis Vuitton Italy thing. I don't know what they do. I'm not big into fashion. I got to get into Fashion Week. Maybe I'll get into it. Who knows? But in trade, Tyler Breeze and Fandango, they're like, hey, all you got to do, you appear on a few Fashion Files episodes, we got a deal. So we got a new faction. The Fashion Police, Lacey Evans, they're together.
Call them the Nasty Police.
The Nasty Police?
Yeah, because she's always talking about cleaning up all the nasties.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be great if she says the nasties. What is Tyler Breeze? Oh, I forgot what Tyler Breeze used to say. He said something like that.
I don't know.
He used to say something like that.
One of my other thoughts was that she was just 2.5 hours late for the women's tag title match.
That could have been it. My other one was she was going to go drop a CM Punk-esque pipe bomb about how Ruby Riott got buried, and she was tired of it, and she wasn't going to stand for it.
I kind of like that one really good. Or she was just saying hi to somebody in the crowd.
Probably just saying hi.
That's what I was thinking too.
Anyway, you tweet us out. Let us know what she was doing. We don't know what she's doing. Maybe you guys do. Who knows?
Hashtag Lacey Girl, what is you doing?
No, hashtag Lacey Girl, what you doing?
What you doing? There we go.
What are you doing, actually? No one's going to remember this hashtag.
No, I don't even remember it.
Hashtag Lacey Girl, what are you doing?
There you go.
That's the one. If you want to use the hashtag. If not, just add us. Just add us and say, hey, that's what she was doing. All right. Last match of the night. The most emotional match of the night. Phenomenal match. Did not expect it. It was actually a pretty good pay-per-view for the most part. I thought it was very unexpected. Yeah. A lot of great matches. The Elimination Chamber matches were all really good. Well, good little show. Good show. Except for the Ruby Riott being buried thing. That sucked.
Yeah, that was the only bad part. Was this... Okay, so quick question before we start, Mike. Was this the best Elimination Chamber match ever?
Ooh, dude, I don't know. I can't say that because I feel like I've missed a few Elimination Chamber matches.
I was about to say, I don't think I've seen all of them, so I can't say for certain.
It was a very, very good one. I think there wasn't enough high-intensity spots. It was probably the most emotional. I'll say it was probably the most emotional.
That's fair.
All right, here we go. Elimination Chamber. you know who we had in it. We had here we go. Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. Phenomenal match. We start with Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan. They grind it out. They're trading chops. We get all the way to Kofi Kingston enters. Kofi Kingston goes through it. Everyone survives up until Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan. This is when everything gets interesting. We can talk more about the actual match a little later. Let's just jump in straight to Kofi Kingston. This was Kofi Kingston's, I'm going to say, I don't know if it's his best work. I'm going to say it's his best work. I'm going to say it's his best work right now. He had the whole crowd eaten out of his hand. Everyone yelling Kofi from the moment he walked in the building to the moment he left. He was a true hero. I had the feeling like this is Kofi Kingston's Eddie Guerrero moment. It's like the same time. The No Way Out compared to the Elimination Chamber timing, right in between WrestleMania. It was that. Everyone's going nuts. Daniel Bryan's playing the heel so well. It's brutal. They're hitting finisher after finisher. The close counts, everything was going right. The yes lock, what was it? What do they call it now?
I have no idea. I didn't know that it was renamed, to be honest with you.
He doesn't use the yes lock anymore. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh.
But
that's right, because yes is dead.
Yeah, the yes is dead. Kofi Kingston grabs the rope, breaks it up. Oh, it's not over there. Kofi Kingston hits another Trouble in Paradise. Can't get the fall. Finally, Kofi pushes Daniel Bryan off the top of a pod. Tries to hit a frog splash. Eddie Guerrero couldn't do it. Daniel Bryan rolled out of the way. Kofi crashes and burns. He gets hit with the flying knee. 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan retains. And Kofi gets a hero send-off. The New Day comes out. Lets him know, man, we're so proud of you. You did great. The fans are just chanting, thank you, Kofi. They play Kofi's music. Walk out. He's standing on the ramp, the entrance, hands in the air. Everyone's proud of Kofi. Man, I want to see Kofi versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. That's all I want right now.
Yeah, so we were talking about this the whole time, and then as soon as we start talking about it, motherfucking our rival, Sean Ross, tweets it out again. I don't know if he's got our,
he might have us tapped. He has us tapped.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's got our, conversations bugged, so we're going to have to be careful about that from now on. Anyway, yeah, I completely agree with everything you said. Kofi was insane throughout this entire process, filling in for Mustafa Ali, which kind of raises the question about whether or not Mustafa was going to be booked the same way that Kofi was. I kind of think he was going to, but he may not have gotten the same reactions is all.
I agree. That's what I always wanted to say. Mustafa Ali, if he doesn't get hurt, does he get the same? Is it the same match? And I mean, it makes sense. They're both They're both baby faces. And then they make Mustafa Ali look very, very strong. I don't think they give Mustafa Ali a WrestleMania match, and I don't think that would ever happen. But with Kofi Kingston and the reaction and sentiment the fans have for him, I think there's a real possibility. I mean, the fans were so into it. Kofi's been around the business, and all the fans, they're smart. They were really smart. They recognized how important he's been, all the things he's done with the New Day, and the time he's been in the WWE. I think it's been 11 years now.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I mean, I really want to see Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan. I think they will go down that road. I actually do kind of believe it. Seeing the reaction that he got, I can't imagine them not doing that, because there's not really a good contender on SmackDown for Daniel Bryan's spot.
I was kind of thinking the same thing, is that they don't have a really solid option for him to go with right now, as someone who is going to go and challenge for the WWE title. And based off the reaction Kofi got tonight and on Tuesday, fuck it, go with Kofi.
Ride the wave, give Kofi the chance. And I mean, WWE is kind of hard to change their minds once they get into WrestleMania, but maybe they did. Maybe they do. Kofi looked great. What was I going to say? So what I want to see the Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan WrestleMania match. I think if Kofi does take the championship off Daniel Bryan, the emotion in the crowd will be way bigger than it was at Elimination Chamber, just because they have a proper build and they can get everyone behind him believing hey, this is finally his time. 11 years, He's worked his whole career for this. Here he goes. Finally gets the main event. And that's what he's going to get. And then, so Kofi, Daniel Bryan, we get that. And then there's another rumor that I think came up like a week or two ago. Luke Harper's supposed to be back soon. So Luke Harper teams up with Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. We get to see Luke Harper, Eric Rowan versus Big E and Xavier Woods. 2 different matches. New Day versus whatever the faction you want to call them. I'm going to call them the Recycle Flannel Boys. But yeah, that's what I want to see. I really want it. That would be awesome. It'd be awesome.
There's some pun about like recycling hipsters and Bludgeon Brothers or something like that I can think of, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head. So
I know. The Flannel Boys, versus the New Day. I want to see it. What, you got anything else that you want to add?
No, man. Kofi Bryant at WrestleMania, book it.
I want to see Kofi Kingston. I'm way behind. I'm really, really behind Kofi right now. I think that match between... We've already seen the Bludgeon Brothers versus New Day, so I'm sure they can put on another show. I mean, they already have the chemistry there. So why not? Why not? Let's see it. Hopefully Luke Harper's healthy. Let's see it. All right. That's all Elimination Chamber. Anything else you want to add just about the show in general?
I thought it was probably... What would you give the card as a whole, Mike?
I'll give it a B.
I was going to say a B-, yeah. I thought it was good. I think the Ruby Riott Ronda Rousey match in general really took away from it, even though the spot afterward kind of helped it a little bit. I think the fact that the match was just kind of terrible, though, definitely took away from it. But yeah, I'd say B-.
Yeah, I like that. I like B-. I forgot about the Miz and Shane McMahon's match. I just did not care about that match one bit.
No, I didn't either.
Unfortunately, I mean, it was just a filler match, and that's what happens. It could have been better. It was an unpredictable card. It was a predictable card that turned into unpredictable.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this too, or about how we didn't really see any of the titles changing hands, and how many we ended up having 3 titles change hands, not counting
two,
not counting the women's tag titles, right?
Yes.
So
3 new champions, 2 title changes.
There you go. So, but that's good.
Yeah, it was a fun card. Definitely really fun. I actually really enjoyed the pay-per-view. I think it benefits from a short card. There wasn't that many matches. I guess that helps also. So, I mean, it was good.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with you. I think that not having a double ton of matches definitely helps, to be sure.
Yeah. That's all I got. Anything else?
Nah, man.
All right, well, that's the show. We really enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe. Subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on Spotify, download it, do all that stuff. Subscribe on iHeartRadio. You can find us anywhere. Tables, Ladders, and Podcasts. Tell your friends. Rate us 5 stars. Go follow us on Twitter at TablesTLP. We live tweet SmackDown and Raw. Sometimes we live tweet other stuff. Sometimes we just tweet wrestling news, and then we'll drop some occasional blogs in there. We got all your wrestling news. You can find that at TablesTLP on Twitter. Yeah, that's it.
Top bitches out.
I'm going to say top Kofi out.
Top Kofi out.
All right, see you guys.